sorry to say this, but what a dumb book. There's Nothing Mexican or what book is probably the worst book I've read in 2020, which is amazing considering that I've read a shit ton of disappointing books this year. The first half of the book is boring as hell. This book made me miserable. I hope I never read another Stephen King kind book in my life. But it is very uncomfortable for me to read a book that is entirely filled with slang and butchering of the English language. Are you kidding me right now? And it goes on to my books that suck pile, and I now feel cleansed. We get it. You're trying to highlight the fact that women are discriminated against and unsafe in the world. You're trying to relate to teenagers' lives who don't have their own choices. But please, this bitch is annoying, and I bet her poetry is fucking shit. You didn't even show it. Hated it. The hatred for this book runs through my veins and comes out with my spicy shit. It was poorly written and she sounded like a little bitch. We don't fuck with. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tally. I'm gonna be reacting to my favorite books 1-star review. I'm only gonna do around like maybe 5 because I can only think of 5 of my favorite books from the top of my head. I was inspired by Jasmine B Reading, so please go check out her channel. Love the reaction videos that she makes, and I wanted to make this video because I thought it would be fun for you guys to watch and for me to do. So yeah, let's go ahead and check it out. I'm gonna go on my books. The first one we're gonna do is Mexican Gothic, just because it was the most recent favorite book that I have. So let's go ahead and do it. I'm gonna try my best not to be mean because people be savage when they review books and they don't like them. Okay, so we have lots of 4 stars, 5-star ratings. We have a 2-star, but that one doesn't have a review on it. So guys, I'm sorry to say this, but what a dumb fucking book. Oh shit. I was moments away from abandoning it halfway through, although I wanted it earlier, if we're being honest. But I took to Goodreads to see what I was missing, why it was getting such outstanding reviews. The word on the street was yes. It was totally boring and slow for the first 2/3, but the twist makes it totally worth it. So, if you came to this review page because you're thinking maybe it's worth your time, I'm here to tell you it's not. In fact, let me tell you what the twist is, since you're obviously a curious person. No, let's not go there because we don't want to spoil any of our viewers on here. How dare you, Elle, say that about Mexican Gothic? First of all, it's not a dumb fucking book. It's very amazing. I'm sorry that you were bored throughout the beginning and the end of the story. Okay, let's move on. People are harsh. Oh, here we go. Here's the 1-star rating. I'm scared. Let's see. 3 things. 1. I want to start a petition to use this gorgeous cover for a book worthy of its beauty. 2. There's nothing Mexican or what? How could you say that? Why do people say that? That this book is not Mexican enough? There are many things, okay? Oh my gosh. And lots of Gothic things in this novel. Okay, I'm gonna stop. 3. It's blasphemous to compare this book to Rebecca or Wuthering Heights. I don't think you should even compare it to Rebecca, because I did watch the film. Of course, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it was great, but I don't think that it should be compared just because each of them have their own thing, you know, and each of them are really good. Okay, anyway, I gave it -5 stars for wasting my time. Wow. Okay, I don't think I can keep going with this one because another 1 star. Let's see. 1.5 stars. This book is deceptive and bland. It promises Mexico, but the setting could be England and you'd never know the difference. It promises the 1940s. It could have been 2020 with the explanation that cell phones don't work at high place. Also, the dialogue felt very modern and false. It promises horror. Yawn. This is predictable. Slow. Not even close to scary. Every character feels exactly like the others, and Noemi in particular is pretty one note. And I'm sorry, but this book is just so dumb. Hey, Tamsin. Sorry that you feel that way. Okay, we're gonna do one more before I start cussing people out on here. Just kidding. Okay, there's not a lot of 1 stars, which makes me happy. I think I can just like, oh yeah, you can. Okay, I can just press 1 star and then, okay, there's actually a lot more. Let's read one more. Okay, so we have this one by Lena. This book is probably the worst book I've read in 2020, which is amazing considering that I've read a shit ton of disappointing books this year. Anyway, here is a list with reasons why this book deserved the #1 spot. 1. There's a bunch of people with their reasons and things. There was nothing Mexican about. Wait, Lena, not you saying that it was nothing Mexican about it. Okay, let's keep reading. At all. They all had English. I don't know how to pronounce that. They all had names, acted like people, and High Place. High Place. High Place was about as English as it gets. 2. This book is supposed to take place in the 1950s. Neither the language nor the way Noemi acted fits. It could have easily taken place in 2020. Without face masks and without working cell phones. It might sound petty, but it fucking bothered me. Okay? 3. The first half of the book is boring as hell. No suspense at all. If I pick up a horror book, I want to be too afraid to read the book right before sleeping and not read it to put me to sleep. Sorry. Wow. 4. Literally everything that could have created a little suspense was revealed in such a blunt and shitty way. Like the random, oh, by the way, did I tell you my sister killed half of my family and then herself? Wait, did you just spoil it? No, she didn't. I won't even mark it as a spoiler because it was revealed on like page 25. Did the woman ever read a horror book in her life? That's not the way it works in scary books. 5. I have no idea what happened in the second half. Just that it was super awful. Mushrooms. Lots of mushrooms. Nothing makes any sense. And oh, did I mention that it was super bad? Okay, I'm not gonna keep going because I'm just irritated at this point. Okay, let's pick another book. Okay, we're gonna do Misery by Stephen King. This is gonna be fun. Ready? Bonnie rated it a 1 star, and I'm not gonna read hers because it contains spoilers. Okay, Brent rated it a 1 star. I love the movie and I love the premise. Borrowed by Stephen King from Evelyn Story, The Man Who Likes Dickens, but the writing? Far more excruciating and ghastly than the hobbling scene. To be honest, I never got that far. The main problem is repetition and filler. King writes like a naughty schoolboy who hasn't read the book he's reporting on, so he just uses lots of filler. Once King stumbles on the typewriter looking like a grinning mouth with missing teeth, he repeats the metaphor over 20 times. Probably more, but I had to stop reading after about 100 pages. Another annoying thing King does is tell an event, like Annie Wilkes onking like a pig, and then retell it a few pages later when bedridden Paul is remembering the events of a few minutes earlier. Let's do another one. Stella, life is too short for books that don't feel compelling to read. Well, you're very wrong. Next, Leah, this book made me miserable. Well, it is named Misery, right? For a reason. McKenna rated it a 1. This person said, save yourself the boredom and just watch the movie. For me, I think the book was better than the movie, to be honest. Tarney. Only Stephen King could take an amazing idea concept and butcher the hell out of it. Where should I start? The protagonist, narrator, spent 50% of the time in a state of hallucination or writing another book inside this one. And throughout this whole process, I think some part of my brain decided to die out of boredom and pure exhaustion. Did you really though? I hated the writing style. I didn't enjoy the plot. The characters were badly written and described. Oh. And the ending, from the first pages, I just knew what the ending would be, and guess what? It was the same as I expected it. It was excruciating to read this book. I did not like it nor enjoy it. I hope I never read another Stephen King kind book in my life. Okay. Henna. One of the worst books I have ever read. Seriously awful. The writing was terrible and the plot was ridiculous. Hall, torture, porn, and with capitals, poorly written. To the third book, and that's gonna be I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. Wait, if you guys did not know, they announced like maybe 3 months ago that there's gonna be a TV show on Netflix for this book, and I'm really very excited, but I'm kind of scared because usually they always end up like getting like the wrong cast for book to movie adaptations. So hopefully they do pick the correct cast and actually Latinos for this TV adaptation. Airy. She never does, indeed. I don't know where to begin. I read this with high expectations, I must admit, as I always do with books that involve with Mexican culture, but as the inexplicable logic of my life and Gabby a girl in pieces, I ended up disappointed. At least Benjamin Lear had some points in his favor, but I just couldn't find any in I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. It actually made me more angry than disappointed. This book was not painful stereotypes, but plain racism. I'm going to start with for the portrayal of Mexico and Mexican culture. Erika Sanchez even decided to introduce narcos as a normal occurrence. These even felt worse because Sanchez wrote about a place in Chihuahua, my state. They dated for a year until he and his family moved back to Mexico. Oh my god, who does that? Right? Who could even possibly want to go back to Mexico? Ugh. The entire premise feels like an insult both to Mexican daughters and to women that decide to dedicate their lives to their family. Julia claims to be a feminist, but we constantly see her insulting, degrading, and thinking low of women for all kinds of things. If they're not smart enough, if they use too much makeup, if they got pregnant at an early age, they like to spend their days taking care of the household and their kids. For Julia, I thought that that's what the author intended to do, just because it's seen a lot in like Mexican households. I think I'm gonna have to read it again. Christine, yuck. I wanted to like this book, I really did. I wanted to like a book that is off the beaten path and that students can relate to and would enjoy. I related to it. Okay, next. Let's read some short ones because I'm getting like super bored. Lillian said, this novel was so hard to get through because the main character, Julia, was so painfully unlikable. I felt like I was reading page after page of incessant complaining for over 300 pages. I struggled to find any sympathy for Julia because of her condescending attitude towards her family members, peers, and literally anyone that differs from her. She complains about how the world is against her, but she continuously shuts people out with her rude behavior. Did you read how her mother treated her? Okay. Also, just by reading the title, this book was exactly what I predicted it would be. A girl grows up in a traditional household, but she wants to be different. It lacks any creativity. I would definitely not recommend this book to any of my students. All this book does is reaffirm negative emotions and behaviors of adolescents. Okay, to give this book 0 stars, I would. This book is just straight out bad, not because of the writing. It was fine, although there could have been less cursing. Oh, it was the protagonist herself. Julia is the worst protagonist I've ever had to bear witness to. She thinks she's the best and the only best there ever was. Supporting characters were pretty decent themselves, but then, oh, who comes into the scene? Damn it, it's Julia! She is, without a question, a self-centered, arrogant fool who just sucks as an entire character. Save yourself the time from reading this book and read other great reads. Like what? Give me some recommendations. I listened to the first hour of this book, a little over 10% of it, and just couldn't keep going. The MC is not sympathetic at all, and I couldn't take any more of her lack of grief over her dead sister and her overall crappy attitude. The book opens with her staring at her dead sister. I'm hoping there are reasons for her behavior that will be revealed to those who can stomach it until that point, but I couldn't. Too many books in the world to stay with one. Why does everyone hate Julia's attitude? Great Rose, 1-star ratings. I'm very curious to see why people rated this a 1-star rating. Okay, Kelly, I can't read this. ... I acknowledge that most of us talk a bit in slang. What? This person did not just say that. But it is very uncomfortable for me to read a book that is entirely filled with slang and butchering of the English language. Are you kidding me right now? She did not just review this book because of the language and it made you uncomfortable. Perhaps if I'd had more patience, then I could have been... Hold on. Perhaps if I'd had more patience, then I could have seen the value in the story, but I just couldn't get past the writing. That's the whole point of this book. Oh my gosh, okay. Okay, next, Curdy. Let's see. Love Angie Thomas, but this book didn't have the right voice at all. The protagonist sounded like an older woman or a young thug, not a high school teen with a baby. Gave up halfway through it because it just didn't ring true to me. Refulo? It was difficult reading this book. There was a lot I couldn't relate to. Okay. Jennifer, this is a really good story with a 1-star rating. 1 star with no explanations. No split explanations. I would like to know why you rated this a 1-star rating. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna do The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo because someone already did that one. Oh, let's do Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. This is gonna be interesting. There's gonna be lots of 1-star. Yep, it has a 3.96 on Goodreads. Because it has a lot of like blood and gore and like very uncomfortable situations from sexual situations. Okay, Steve, we're gonna skip the first one. This one was terrible. I can't go any further and is going into the abandoned bookshelf. This is really disappointing because I've been a constant reader since Carrie was originally published. The characters have no compelling personalities. The antagonist is vile and seems to have written by King as one with every bad evil quality he could think of. The protagonist is completely unrealistic. Okay, Luca. Honestly, Steven. Kristen, I'm a huge King fan, but Mr. Mercedes just didn't do it for me. I didn't care for the style of writing or for the character's tone, especially Brady's sexual attraction towards his mother wearing the white robe. I agree with that. I felt like I was reading a Dean Koontz novel at times. Overall, I was highly disappointed. Pam, I love Stephen King, and I have never given up on one of his books before, but I am on page 223, and I quit. I freaking hate this book. The characters are all so unlikable and unbelievable, and I just don't give a frig. What happens to a single one of them. And it goes on to my books that suck pile, and I now feel cleansed. That's a funny one. What an utter piece of shit. Completely predictable. And the lame characters all have the perfect, predictable skill to solve the mystery. Thought I could get into Stephen King's new books after loving 11/22/63, but wow, was awful. Okay, the last one that I'm gonna do is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. There are a couple of 1-star ratings and I'm kind of scared. Okay, this is like really long, but I'm just gonna read like the 2 paragraphs. Wow, this is just awful. What's it about? A young girl is struggling with life in general. She's not into the whole church thing anymore. She's getting romantic feelings toward boys. She has really strict religious parents, etc. She decides to write poetry to help her deal with all the hard shit in her life. Why it gets 1 star. The story is boring. In all fairness, I am not into slice of life or teen stuff, but it can sometimes be sort of interesting if well written. It is not one of those times. It doesn't even have anything real intense happen, so it's just effing boring. What's with the... Okay. The characters are bland as With the themes this book has, I would at least expect them to be a bit relatable, but nope, not here. This story is predictable? Whew. What is it with YA books and fucking rap music? I noticed a lot of YA books in a realistic setting, especially ones with minority characters, which is a very inaccurate stereotype, by the way. Having this massive obsession with rap... Who says that, honestly? Does rap really bother you that much? Oh my god. The main character of the book won't shut the fuck up about it. Making music a part of the character makes sense. It's a big part of some people's lives. Example, I'm obsessed with metal, but why are there entire scenes dedicated to this rapper equals amazing when it has almost nothing to do with the story? Actually, it does. Okay. Overall, this book is stupid. Maybe it's just not my kind of book, but seriously, it's poorly written. What? Okay, I can't. Next. Lou. I really thought I was gonna like this. Both Angie Thomas and Tommy raved about it, but it was painful for me to read. But I'm saying this without having finished the book. It's not like I didn't want to finish it, it's that I couldn't finish it. Poetry is a hit or miss with me, and IMO. What does that mean? I don't know if it was the style, but there were too many run-on sentences and incorrect punctuation from what I saw. Probably the style, but the reason I couldn't finish this is because of how angry I was, the way Catholicism was portrayed, and how messed up Xiomara thought. What? Honestly, you shouldn't even like be bashing someone for not being into religion. You owe 1.5 stars. Not a native English speaker, so please bear with me. I don't know how people can view this book as something powerful. I know someone might find this relatable, or they saw some part of themselves in the main character, but here's where I stand. I always find that some people easily jump into the conclusion that because a book is written by a person of color, or the book is narrated by a POC character and is dealing with heavy subject matters, that the book is automatically good. Look, representation is great. Diversity must be a staple, not an add-on. But the story itself is the most important thing. That's why you're reading a story, not a textbook. If I was just here for the representation, then I might as well read something else. But since people are here for these topics, I might as well delve into that. First off, the message is very clear when you start reading. It talks about self-identity, race, religion, sexuality, women's rights, body shaming. With all of that, I was hyped to continue reading since I enjoyed other books that dealt with the same topics. But as I read further along, I noticed the aggression in the writing style. Okay, bye. Aggression in the writing style. Safa. It is a no for me. I was agitated the whole time. I think poetry is a way to tell a long story in short. Not like that. It wasn't good. Okay. Adia. This is a place. I don't know if it's safe or unsafe, but it's a means to escape. Favorite line. I guess I'm just too old for this now. Read this one. Adi forever. I really hated this book. The theme of the book is really interesting, and I think it would be better if it wasn't in all poetry. It just didn't add up like it was supposed to, and so many questions and problems were not answered and solved. Okay. R. Rated it, and 1 star. Overrated. We get it. You're trying to highlight the fact that women are discriminated against and unsafe in the world. You're trying to relate to teenagers' lives who don't have their own choices. Please, this bitch is annoying, and I bet her poetry is fucking shit. You didn't even show it. Okay, Belkis. All the themes discussed here are actually found in much better written books. Don't waste your time on this misery. Okay. Michael and Laurent. Too sexual, pornographic, immoral, couldn't relate to the narrator's conflicts. Too angry, too juvenile. To be fair, I didn't finish the book. Too angry? What is up with these people saying too angry? Not my cup of tea. Evelyn. I absolutely hated it. The hatred for this book runs through my veins and comes out with my spicy shit. It was poorly written, and she sounded like a little bitch. We don't fuck with pussies out. What the hell did I just read? Why? I'm crying. Oh my gosh. This person, it was horrible. The star is for the cover, nothing else. Okay, last one. Unfortunately for me, it would be just 1 star and some points. I loved it, but it was so breath. Not even the 1/8 of the book. Justine, the book was so bad it physically hurt to read at certain points. Okay, and the rest are 1-star ratings. Wow, that was funny. Okay. I guess that's all. These are all the books that I'm going to do today. I will eventually do more of these videos because it was super fun. I shouldn't have done it because, yes, the first ones did piss me off because, I mean, everyone's going to have different opinions of different books, right? But when people talk about how, oh, I didn't relate to this book, you're not going to relate to a person of color in a book, right? Or when they call the writing style from a Latina too aggressive, or that she sounds super angry, that's just very sad. Alright, so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys would like to see more of these. I'm gonna go back to reading and hope you guys have a wonderful week. Bye!